the majority of my time is going to be spent with weight around 50% or below, right? But I would be kidding myself if I thought that just doing that alone was going to get me the results that I want. Even though I'm telling you guys to spend the majority of your time, or I'm telling myself to spend the majority of my time with lightweight, 50% and below, I guess, is considered as lightweight. A portion of your training time should be spent with weights above that. Now, how you load that and how you approach that, you can do whatever you want. There's many different programs out there that talk about 5x5, just year-round kind of thing. Starting strength, 5x5, 3 sets of 5, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of been agreed upon that 5 sets of 5 or 5 repetitions is kind of the best of both worlds, hypertrophy and strength training. The trouble with that is that it's difficult work. It is a bad life experience. To me, it wasn't fun to come into the gym and train this way 3 times a week. Sooner or later the weight's going to get really difficult and you're going to hate your life and you're not going to look forward to working out. Working with weights that are below 50%, I look forward to kind of coming into the gym. It feels good. You get a pump. Your joints don't have to scream every single day. It's just an easier existence. Having said all of that, you still need to practice your sport. And the sport that we are trying to get better at is lifting heavy weight. At least that is the case for me. I want to increase my 1 rep max. So you can't move away from lifting heavy weight completely. The sport is lifting heavy weight, so you need to practice it. Now that doesn't mean that you lift a heavy set of 5. But it could mean instead that you lift a heavy single. So today I did 80%, so 160 kilos for 10 singles. Now, once again, that's heavy weight, right? It's 80%, but I'm not taking it to 5 reps. I'm taking it to a single rep. What that allows me to do is, practice bracing for a heavy weight. Now, I'm sure all of us have seen people in the gym, in our lives, wherever we kind of go to train, people who have kind of developed a really nice physique. They have good muscle definition, muscle mass. They look really strong, but they are not strong. They don't have that ability to kind of lift weight. I know for me, I've kind of seen these people over the years of my training, and I've kind of scratched my head thinking, it doesn't make sense. Why is this dude so strong looking, but he's not strong? That's because a lot of bodybuilders, if you will, they spend a lot of time in that kind of 8 to 12 rep range, sometimes even above after 20, but they never like tell those muscles what they're there to do. It is a different beast to lift 80% and above. This is why I think Squat Every Day works really well, because you are always practicing the sport that you are trying to get better at. When you squat every day, your nervous system, your joints, your core, right? The core is the big one, man, because bracing for something that is really, really heavy is completely different to bracing for a sub 50% weight. I could squat 50% without even bracing, man. I can just kind of continue breathing. My diaphragm's kind of moving up and down, up and down, up and down. No worries. I'm just going through the reps. It's fine. When you're lifting like around 80, 90%, or 100%, obviously, your diaphragm has to be fixed. You got to suck that breath in, and you got to hold everything internal fixed. You just have to brace, and that is different. That's what's different with heavy weight. So you can move away. You can spend the majority of your time, with 70-80% of your time, working with the foundation stuff like the sub 50%. But don't get it twisted, man. You're not gonna get stronger if you kind of forget, if your body forgets how to do those other things. Heavy bracing, asking your muscle fibers to contract at once in sequence. It's a different ballgame. Strength sports are different like that. That's why bodybuilding and powerlifting, there's a bit of difference there. A lot of people, I've heard a lot of people talk about Tom Platz, how strong he was with rep work. You could do like 180 kilos for like a set of 50, like extraordinary amount of like muscle endurance, so much muscle development. Like we all know how his legs were kind of developed. But imagine if that guy spent a lot, as he was kind of like training, if he spent a lot of his time or some of his time always kind of practicing that 1 rep max stuff, You know, for his sport, it didn't make sense because the chance of injury, I guess, in their eyes, is not worth it. You know, to lift, 90, 95, 100% of their one rep max. I mean, that guy was, I think he was squatting like 700 pounds. And that's without even being a power lifter, right? That's just using rep work. So basically what I'm trying to say is that, I'm a big fan of working with light weight, but you need to visit or revisit the skill of lifting heavy. It's a different beast. You can have all the muscles you want, you can have all that tendon strength and joint health you want, but tying it all in together for one single or a double or a triple, it's a different thing. So today what I did, man, I came in and I decided to do like around 80%. I stopped 160, so around 80% for 10 singles. So this weight is feeling heavy for me. You guys know that only like a month ago I was doing 200 kilos for a single, no problem, like basically weekly. But with all of this fatigue now accumulated in my legs and doing some days doing 2 sessions of high rep squatting, that means that there's a lot of fatigue, number one, obviously, but also because I'm not revisiting some of these skills that I need, bracing, lifting maximally, not leaving anything reserved for that single rep. That means that my strength has kind of dipped now. Expected, very much expected when it comes to training like this. So what I'm planning to do now that I've kind of like taken on this workload and I've kind of acclimatized to it somewhat, I'm gonna start plugging back in on the off day, plugging back in some heavy singles and all that sort of stuff. I might do some doubles and triples, but for the most part it's going to be singles, and for the most part it's going to be around 80, maybe 90%. Today was 80%. I mean, it is 5 o'clock in the morning. Maybe I could have done 90%, 180 kilos for 10 singles, but 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm not feeling all that best mobility wise and all that, so I settled for 80%. So if you are interested in being stronger, take this from me. You can build all the muscle that you want. You can do lightweight, 60%, 70% down, whatever you call lightweight. Just remember that you need to practice singles. For a lot of you guys, if you kind of feel what I feel right now with this 10 singles, 80%, it doesn't feel like a big workout, right? Some people do 5 sets of 5 with 80%. But this is value. This is value because I've taken 10 reps, perfect form, braced for all of them, which is a completely different stimulus to what I'm doing currently. So tomorrow I'll come in and I'll work with 40 kilos and I'll take that for sets of 30. I'll do 5 sets of 30 of that. So that's a completely different stimulus, right? That's going to build that muscle, tissue, metabolic conditioning, all that sort of stuff. And then the following day I'll come back in again and I'll do singles again. So it's kind of, I'm going basically from 10 reps and above, and then I'm working singles. So I'm kind of skipping reps between, I guess, 1 and 10. That's kind of the rep range that I feel like it's very, very difficult to kind of get over. That's the kind of stuff that hurts me, I think, when I spend a lot of time in that rep range. Everything kind of gets inflamed for me. I don't know. I mean, heavy sets of 5s are okay, but it's if you're trying to progress a 5x5, I just feel like it's a miserable experience. Training is not fun to do that all the time. I mean, we're all different. We all kind of have different personalities and whatever. This is why I prefer reps 10 and above, and then just work with singles, comfortable singles where I have like 3, 4, 5, even more reps in the tank. All right, guys, that's me for today. Let me jump out of here and get to work. All right, guys, peace out.